This video will cover basic employee policy setup in Connect. Employee policies should be set up to reflect the employee time policies of your business. This includes things like overtime rules, time rounding rules, and whether hourly employees should clock themselves out for lunch each day. To get started, select Manage and then Policies. By default, your employees will be entered as members of the default policy group. Note that additional policy groups can be added and customized later as needed. Overtime rules can apply in several ways, with the most common being weekly and daily. Weekly overtime defaults to a value of 40 and can be adjusted as needed. If your company does not offer double overtime, simply uncheck the box next to OT2. Daily overtime can be set up independently of weekly overtime. Daily overtime is used when employees get overtime after a certain number of hours worked in a day. Note that daily overtime does not add to weekly overtime totals, so you can use them together without a problem. Time rounding rules are used to allow employees a grace period when clocking in or out. To set up a grace period for your employees, check the box next to In-Out rounding and enter a time interval. For example, a commonly used interval is 15 minutes. Employee time punches will be rounded either up or down, depending on the nearest 15-minute time interval. In other words, clocking in at 8:07 a.m. rounds down to 8 a.m., while clocking in at 8:08 a.m. rounds up to 8:15 a.m. Auto lunch should be enabled if you don't want employees to have to clock out and back in for lunch each day. To enable auto lunch, check the box, then enter a value for how long your employees need to work before they get a lunch break. Then enter how long their lunch period should be and hit Save at the bottom. Once saved, all employees in this group will have these rules applied to their time punches moving forward. It will not affect time punches made before you edited the policy group. If you calculate overtime bi-weekly, meaning over 2 weeks worked instead of 1, then you will need to check 2 boxes. First, go to Manage and then Company Settings. Then select the Time and Attendance tab. Here, you will check the box to use bi-weekly dates for policy calculation and hit Save at the bottom. Next, go to Manage, Policies, Weekly Overtime. Check the box for bi-weekly overtime and hit Save at the bottom. And finally, some companies have special policy rules, but only for certain job site locations. To set up location-specific policies, go to Manage and then Locations. Select the blue pencil next to the location in question, then go to the Policies tab. Here, you can set location-specific policy rules that will override the other policy rules you have in place, but only when employees work at this location. To learn more about policies, click the link at the bottom of the screen.